So I messed up my intro. I wasn't recording anything twice, and so I basically did the whole front without giving you guys any context as to what's going on. So basically, I wanted to show you that autofoam is more useful than you think it really is. I know a lot of people online like to say that it's either useless or it's like way too useful, and I don't think it's really either. I think it's just a product that helps you have a protected wash in a way where you're not going to risk scratching up your paint, and it's really easy to do and it's kind of fun in my opinion. So as you can see, a lot of my videos are based on foam. Let's do it. Yeah, that confirms it. What I do in the video is I mask off half of the hood / front area, I foam half of it, and then I just pressure, and then I do nothing with the other half, and I pressure wash the whole car, or not the whole car, but the whole front area. And you'll see how it kind of differentiates between the foamed side and the non-foamed side. I hope to kind of prove to you that, you know, foam is useful, but it's not going to be like a miracle cure where you only need to foam your car to clean it. And then the other part is, like there's a lot of like, I want to say, so like the stigma around foam, or whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. But this is just, you know, me actually trying it out and seeing the results for myself, because, you know, you can only trust so much of what people say these days. So I just want to put it to the test and actually give it a shot and see how it turns out for us here today. So yeah, we're going to be going to the front, but right now I just had to record at the back because there's actually salt here. And you can see this kind of dirt is pretty light stuff. It's been about like 2 days of just salt kind of drying onto the paint. So it's not really difficult dirt in a way. It's basically like you could just pressure wash this and it'd all dissolve into the water. Damn. There's like a war breaking out. Anyway, so salt like dissolves into water really easily, but honestly, even with pressure washing, you'll see it doesn't really do a perfect job. It just does an okay job at best, but it does do enough to where you could actually, you know, sort of have a clean car after. Let me give you guys a close-up. I thought I gave you a close-up earlier, but I freaking wasn't recording again, so let's do this. So you can see this is like pretty caked on like salt and stuff. This is where I just cleaned, so kind of excuse me on that one. You guys won't get a review of that. I can't re-dirt it up real quick or anything, unfortunately. You can see the wheels are pretty bad. They're just, you know, really salted. And also the area near the wheels. Am I even recording audio? Yeah. Dang, that blows cheeks. So basically what I was doing was I taped it down the middle. Damn. And I sprayed half of it with foam. It's gonna let it like just run off and then pressure wash both sides to see if there's really any difference between using foam or not. And this is fairly light dirt. So, damn, really? All right, so let's give it that wash down now. Let it sit for long enough. All right, hopefully what happens is when we tear off this tape, we can see what it looks like unwashed, and then we can have a portion where we just have it pressure washed, and then a portion where we had the foam and wash. And apparently I wasn't recording anything ever, so I don't even know what was going through my head. Just like testing out foam versus non-foam. So this is the foamed side here. This was the non-foamed side. And I just pressure washed both of them. Of course, I foamed this one down first. And then we're just gonna see if there's really any difference between the two in terms of outcome and if it's really necessary to foam. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab my drying towel since I pressure washed everything and just dry it up so there's no water spotting, and we'll see really what's going on. Did I get none of that, really? You got nothing? Fudge, you got, what the fudge? What was I doing? You're kidding me. All right, so I'm just drying it now. And I could definitely tell there's still like a decent amount of salt on this side, but we'll see if it stays after I wipe it up with this drying towel. I'm not trying to really put a lot of pressure on it because I don't want to, you know, risk scratching up anything here. All right, so I've just wiped it down and now it's all dry. I'm gonna take the tape off in a second and we can really see the difference, and I'll bring you guys close and we can take a look. Just pressure washing isn't as bad as I thought it'd be, but honestly that was pretty light dirt. It was just like basically salted water that dried, from like snow and stuff. So once it dried, it just kind of caked some salt onto my paint. When you're using water, salt like dissolves into water super quickly. So I was kind of expecting this to be really easy to take off. So I'm gonna take off this paint now, or the paint tape, or the masking tape, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully we can kind of get a good comparison of it all. All right, yeah, you can definitely see where the tape was. So if you look, it's pretty good. We got a little bit of like, what do you call it? Like dirt rub, I don't know. It's like when you just mush around dirt, but you don't actually clean it off the surface. Just like around that headlamp in front area there. You can't really probably see it on the paint, and then also the wheel looks a little bit better, but it's generally the same. And you can see right by the wheel wells where it's like probably the dirtiest, it didn't really do anything. I just have that like dirt mush where I'm just like wiping the dirt around, and same with like right in front. So if I go to where the masking tape was, you can see it was pretty dirty, like just down the middle. But on either side, it looks really clean. So for these large flat areas, like the pressure washer will work without any foam. But if you look, like there's a huge difference in the headlight where I use the foam, and same with like just the whole front area. It's like a lot cleaner overall, and it might be hard for you guys to tell that. But that's because what the foam does is it basically dissolves some of that dirt, and it brings it down with it. So it's like dissolving it and then bringing it off the surface of the car and onto the ground, which is what you want. And you can see this wheel looks a lot better than the one where I didn't foam at all. It's not perfect by any means. It's just like I said, a lot better. And you can see there's still a little bit of dirt down here by the wheel well areas, which is okay, but that's usually stuff you're gonna get with the hand wash. And you can also see there is some like dirt speculation here. I don't know the word. English is my first language. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. So you can see like there is a definite difference to using foam and a benefit to it as well that I want to mention. So let's talk about it. Like if you see, you could get away with just pressure washing your car, but you're gonna put a lot more strain on your drying towel because most of that dirt is still on the surface even after you pressure wash. But what happens is the drying towel, when it comes in, that's when the dirt gets picked up. And because you're using your drying towel instead of any soap, all of that dirt is going to get picked up by the drying towel instead of getting run away by the soap or whatever hand wash you're using. Like, could you wash your car with just a pressure washer? Yes, and dry it off right away, and it would look good. I mean, it would look, as you could tell, it looks good, but it's not perfect. There's still like some, like when you have a lot of liquid and you like rub it around and then it dries, it looks like there's dirt there still. So it's still got some of that dirt there. But if you looked at the foam side, there still is some of that, but it's gonna be a lot safer to wash as well. It just does a better job overall. You saw how that whole front area was looking really good and the wheel was looking a lot better than just pressure washing. So there's benefits to using foam, and it's relatively cheap and easy to use, and it's fun, so why not? And I talk about foam and floor mats like every day. I feel like I gotta figure out some new topics or something. Well, I do have new topics, but it's just what I can record when I can record it kind of thing. With the glass, it doesn't really matter too much because you're not gonna really scratch glass, but if you just like pressure wash your paint, there's a risk of actually scratching up the paint. Let's say you just pressure wash it, then all that water is doing is it's smashing the dirt into the paint, and then when you go to dry it up, it can scratch up the paint as well. So there's two places where it could scratch, versus where if you use a foam and pressure wash, then that foam acts as like a kind of padding for the water, and it also acts as a padding for the dirt against the paint. It has that dual property there, and it allows you to pressure wash your car really safely with basically zero risk of scratching it. Obviously you could still scratch it, but you're gonna have a lot better results over time. Whereas if you just do, the pressure washer method, it's gonna be, your paint might be looking a little poor after a while. Yeah, I'm not doing the rest of okay, I'm gonna be doing the rest of the car, and I guess you guys can stay for that if you want. So, up to you. So you can see that this car definitely needs a little bit of a cleaning. It's only been like 2 days since I last cleaned it, but of course, right when it turns like 60 out and it's looking like it's gonna be nice, we have the most bipolar weather in the universe, and it's like all of a sudden snowing like crazy for 2 days, and now it's super nice again. I don't know what's going on in here in Wisconsin, but it's starting to feel a little bit like California with all their wildfires and earthquakes and stuff. Freaking Armageddon over there. It's not as bad here. I mean, snow and warm weather is pretty nice. I like what's going on. So, yeah, let's just get into it, I guess. I'm only gonna do a one-step wash because this is really not that bad dirt, or not that bad of dirt. And you'll see it'll all pretty much wash away. If you don't wash your car for a while though, then that's where the hand wash can really become useful. I'm just gonna be avoiding that today just to keep it simple on myself. There's a fly on my hood. Let's get him. So you can see it took me like maybe a couple minutes to actually foam the thing. Obviously I'm speeding it up. I'm not like the Flash or anything, although depends what kind of flashing you mean. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I always like to let my foam sit for a little bit. Usually I could do like floor mats real quick, spray them up, scrub them, and then just rinse them with the car. But you know, especially with the Built Hammer stuff, this foam is like amazing because it just runs right off the car and brings the dirt along with it. So it's literally the best auto foam you can buy, no joke. And it's really it's not cheap, but it's like a well-priced auto foam for how much you get. You get 5 liters, which is more than a gallon, and it's about 50 bucks. It's a good deal. So because it is a little sunny out today, I'm gonna start actually rinsing it off. You gotta be careful when it's really sunny because you don't want this stuff to dry. It's not bad, but it's harder to rinse off if it dries. I'm getting hit with a tsunami. Jeez Louise, the wind is against me. Wow, it's really, this wind really just blowing all the freaking water at me. All right, let's give this thing the dry off now. Remember, always start with the glass. Because as soon as that stuff dries and water spots, you're done for. I accidentally did that a few times. Not fun to deal with. Or you could just get one of those DI water systems where the water just kind of, all the contaminants from the water get removed. So if there's any minerals or whatever, they'll just get, I don't know, what do you call the word? Like dissolved out of the water or pulled out. So when it dries, it's just spotless. It's kind of cool. Because the reason you get water spotting is because there's like minerals in the water. Like let's say I have salt dissolved in the water. So when that when the water dries, there's going to be the salt left. That's basically what's happening with water spots, but it's with usually other minerals. So like you have your iron, you have, I don't know what else is in water. Calcium. There's some other stuff, but I can't remember it. Woo! This thing cleaned up pretty good. Oh shoot. What was that? What the? Why did it sound like something got like ripped into shreds? I'll give you guys a little tour around once I finish drying this thing. And you can really see, you know, just with a foam wash, sometimes that's going to be good enough. You can save yourself a lot of effort doing that too. So hand washes take a while, but they obviously do a lot better a job. But I would always recommend at least doing the foam wash. So that's kind of the whole point of this video, is to show you that foam is real and it really does something. I might have not shown you guys the results of the test. Oh shoot. So you can see basically all that salt water is gone. Even on the wheels, they're looking pretty good. There is still some like near this lower area, and that's gonna be what the hand wash will usually get, is, you know, that more embedded dirt, like, because the wheel areas are going to be the dirtiest. But even that trunk, like, look at that, it's looking pretty much new. There is like a slight layer of kind of like scum, I guess, but you know, you can always just go for the hand wash and that'll take care of that, like easy peasy. But if you're feeling lazy like me, you can always just avoid that. Hope you learned a little bit about foam and why it's actually useful. It's not like a, what do you call it, like a catch-all. Like, you can't just foam a car and expect it to be clean. You obviously still need to put some other work in, but the point of the AutoFoam isn't to fully clean your vehicle. It's basically to just help run some of that dirt off of your car so that when you do get to the hand wash phase, there's going to be less dirt on it and therefore less risk of actually scratching your car when you hand wash it. So that's really where I see the benefit of AutoFoam. It isn't in the fact that I'm going to have a one-step really simple to do wash or anything, but I will have a more successful hand wash where I'm not going to be risking really scratching up anything. And that's actually really a huge, what do you call it, like boon, huge benefit to using the AutoFoam. When you see people say AutoFoam does nothing, that's clearly false. When you see people say, you know, just foam the car down and do the hand wash with that foam, I wouldn't do that either. If you are using it as a hand wash, then you're basically doing the same thing as if you just did a one-step wash. I would just, you know, use the foam as its own thing, wash it off or rinse it off, and then, you know, you can hand wash. You got to make sure that, you know, I mean, whatever, like do whatever you want at the end of the day, but I just recommend using it as, you know, a pre-wash, and then you could just do your normal hand wash. So I see a lot of people do it a lot of different things, a lot of different ways, but I think that doing the pre-wash into that hand wash is probably going to be your simplest method of cleaning your car, or cleaning any car in general. And you'll always get consistent results without having to worry about much damage or scratches happening. I also see people do like 3-step, 4-step, like 76-step washes, and it's like, come on, man, like come on, it gets a little crazy. So yeah, so I love you guys.